What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW videos. Hopefully you do enjoy the new layout. It's something that I've been working on the past couple of days, but also I have some great news for the viewers. So if you're interested in PvP, you think that you have a team that is worth highlighting, or you want to show how to use a Pokemon individually, maybe it's something that's a little bit more off meta, then what you need to do is go into the description below. I'll actually have a Google form where you can submit your footage, and if it ends up being something very interesting or something very valuable to everyone else, I will feature you in an episode, so make sure to check that out if you want to go ahead and showcase your battles. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So we're going to be focusing on Excadrill. Now, Excadrill is somewhat of like a soft replacement for a Pokemon like Rhyperior. Maybe you don't have like a Rock Wrecker Rhyperior and you're looking into some alternative options. I think Excadrill is a very close one, so we're going to see exactly how this Pokemon works. It ends up doing best against something like a Dialga, as well as a Metagross, and then even something like a Melmetal as well. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Now, typically when you go up against a Melmetal, they like to hit you with those superpowers. Now, I got a little bit nervous in this case, though, because it ended up using Rock Slide. I'm like, oh no, he baited me with the Rock Slide, but then he switches into Dialga. So we've got a situation where Excadrill ends up covering both Melmetal and covers Dialga, so I'm not 100% sure on his entire choices, but it is what it is. So anyways, we're going to go up against it, and typically when you go up against a Dialga, you could technically take one Iron Head, but it's just not worth it. Even though it is not super effective or anything like that, it's going to just do so much damage, more than half. So you really have to protect Excadrill. It's a little bit more squishy than something like a Rhyperior, but it does have a higher attack stat. Anyways, let's go ahead and back this up. I actually have a move that I wanted to show you that I was able to pull off. So I noticed that whenever I took down Dialga, what I thought was going to end up happening was that Melmetal came in with some energy. I knew it had kind of built up some energy. So what I was thinking was it may end up trying to load off something like Superpower was kind of like my first thought. Or whatever the charge move is, I know it's going to come in with something and it's going to take out the Excadrill, because as far as it's concerned, Excadrill is the biggest counter to that Melmetal. So because I know all of these things going into the situation, I'm actually going to do something really dirty to him. And that is switching out into a Dragonite on their switch. That way they end up hitting Dragonite with a charge move instead of Excadrill. It ended up being Rock Slide. Rock Slide takes just so much energy, way more than something like a Superpower, for example. So I'm wondering at this point, like, I mean, I don't even know what moveset this Melmetal actually has, but we know he's going to end up hitting us with another Rock Slide. So there we go. And now we can bring in Excadrill. And I already had that drill run ready to go, and it is in range now where we will be able to take out this Melmetal in just that one single charge move. So definitely good game to the opponent there, and I honestly think that ended up being a really good switch. So now we're going to go ahead and get into the second battle. Now, the reason why I ended up switching up my team, by the way, where I started leading with Togekiss, was because of how many Pokemon I was seeing in the lead where it was something like a Togekiss, it was something like a Giratina Origin Form. I'm seeing a lot of people back off of using Melmetal or using Dialga in the lead and saving them for the back. So now we have a great opportunity to go ahead and switch into Excadrill, go up against that Metagross, and it's building up some major energy. So in this case, I'm a little worried that it could end up being an Earthquake, and it is an Earthquake. So yes, didn't call my bluff or anything like that. So now we're just going to go ahead and go. I knew I wasn't going to quite be able to make it down to just using the quick moves on Metagross, so I opted to go ahead and go for Drill Run there. And now the next Pokemon comes in, and it is a Kyogre. So unfortunately for Excadrill in this situation, it's just going to be lights out. We're not going to be able to do anything against Kyogre. So now it's just using the rest of the team. And I will say this, I think that the opponent honestly made a big mistake here because of just kind of the situation where they have a Togekiss in the back and we've got a Dragonite here. I mean, they're kind of like helping me out to some extent because Dragonite can just sweep through a Kyogre no problem. But he built up a lot of energy, so I'm going to go ahead and shield it here, and it ended up being a Blizzard. I've noticed so many opponents now on their Kyogres have been adding on Blizzard, and also using them because they kind of get locked into, I guess, up against a Dragonite quite a bit. So if it ends up going off though, I mean, it's lights out. Anyways, they ended up using a shield, which I'm wondering, like, well, what the heck are you doing in that situation? Now we're going into Togekiss. I tried to go for a Hurricane, and in this scenario, what it basically ends up equating to is I had to win the hard way. I should have just used that Dragon Claw. It wouldn't have done a lot of damage, but it would have been very helpful. So they ended up going for Ancient Power, but what I'm actually going to do is opt to go for Flamethrower, and I got it on literally the last move. If he had hit me with one more charm, I would have been out. But Flamethrower does just so much damage compared to Ancient Power, even though Ancient Power is super effective. Maybe it could have taken it out. I just didn't want to chance it, so I went with Flamethrower in that case. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the third battle. Now this battle is one that I actually think I lost, but it's still something we can definitely learn from, so we're going to go ahead and go through it. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into Metagross. So it is time for Excadrill to come in. We're seeing so many double steel type teams, whether it's Metagross, Dialga, or it's going to be Melmetal and Dialga. I mean, there's just so many of them. So anyways, there was another Earthquake. We ended up seeing that. So this time, I'm thinking that I'm actually going to go ahead and try to farm it down, and I did get it down this time, so definitely building up the confidence. There's no way they're going to end up coming back in with the Dialga, and it actually ends up being a Melmetal. What the heck is going on with this team? So it's not necessarily looking good. I mean, I would love for Excadrill to be able to pull off the sweep, but that's just going to be like so difficult. Anyways, here we go. We're going to go ahead and shield because we're expecting the superpower, and there it is, which means that they're going to end up being nerfed on anything kind of moving forward. But I'm trying to just spam this thing down. I want to take this guy out. I don't really have the remainder of my team. I mean, they can't really do anything against these Pokemon. So we're going to see how much damage the superpower ends up doing, and I mean, it took me out, which is a little unfortunate. Like I said before, Excadrill is a little bit squishier than something like a Rhyperior. Rhyperior would have been able to handle that. I'm confident about that, especially after Melmetal was debuffed as far as its attack and defense are concerned. So we're going in there versus the Dialga. I mean, it's just such a tough battle to win. I mean, it's just tough to win that one. But ultimately, a good thing that we have going on is that we have Togekiss coming in, and it's not going to be able to get an Iron Head off. And now we're stuck going off to the races where we've got Melmetal versus Togekiss, and it's not good. I needed one more to be able to get to the Flamethrower, and it hits me with a Thunderbolt. Now, if it had hit me with a Rock Slide, could I have made it to the Flamethrower? Possibly. So that was a situation where randomly throwing in Thunderbolt really played to the opponent's advantage. So definitely a good game there. So we're going to go ahead and get into the fourth one. Like I mentioned before, I've been seeing so many more Giratina Origin leads, so that's kind of why I've been opting to do this. So we're going to end up leading with Togekiss, switching into Dragonite. Dragonite, like I said before, absolutely walls a Kyogre. The only chance that Kyogre has is hitting it with a Blizzard, but it takes so long, and they basically don't have time to shield bait with a Surf and do it with a Blizzard. So if someone ends up doing it at the end, it's either going to be one Surf, maybe two Surfs, or it's going to be a Blizzard. So in this case, it was a Blizzard. We were able to take it out. And as far as the next Pokemon coming in, they're not going to send in Giratina Origin. Like, that's just not going to happen. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a Hurricane. I had some people asking me questions about what moveset do I want to use on my Dragonite. If you've got Draco Meteor, stay with it. I do not, but I tried out Hurricane, and I've been personally very pleased with it. It does a very good amount of damage, even in like neutral situations, especially against something like a Togekiss. I mean, it almost takes out like 80% of the damage. Anyways, we are absolutely farming this guy down. He's going to have to use his energy. We are going to, of course, save our shield in this case. And we're ready to get into the next Pokemon. So I'm actually going to go in with the Excadrill because it's going to have energy for Meteor Mash. Sending in Togekiss would force me to use a shield or take a lot of damage. I don't want to do that. So now we're going into the final Pokemon with Excadrill, and it is, of course, versus that Giratina. So in this case, Excadrill did not get to do that much, but it still served a purpose. It was kind of like the sacrificial swap, and now we're going into kind of like the final. Honestly, in this case, Giratina Origin has no chance because we can just farm it down. Even if it did get to a Shadow Ball, we would still, of course, have a shield, and we're able to pull off the victory. But anyways, I hope you did enjoy this episode. Hopefully this gives you a little bit more ideas with a Pokemon like Excadrill. Anyways, let me know what you think about this Pokemon. Let me know what you are using in the comment section below. And don't forget to submit your footage if you have something that is very interesting, and I will see you next time. If you want to develop a deeper connection, I would highly recommend you to check out Patreon. We've got a lot of really cool things going on over there. Check out all of these supporters that we have. We are almost up to 100. We are also posting some special content, some behind the scenes work. And if that is the type of thing that interests you, I would highly recommend you to check it out.